Hello, welcome to another interesting episode of the program Sports Preview on Bua Community Voice, a program that is poised to make sure that you get all the insights of the interesting games coming through this weekend, a special concentration on the English Premier League, as it is the most watched league in Nigeria with football, the king of sport. Welcome. Today on the program, we're looking at the games coming through for Saturday and Sunday. Blockbuster. Be an interesting midweek with the UEFA Champions League actions coming through. Most interestingly for us Nigerians, Victor Osimhen with a hat-trick and man of the match performance for Galatasaray in that game against Ajax. Interesting to mention, but a few. A lot of other interesting things happened. I would have even wanted to make a special mention to a player like Erling Haaland, who've just been offside 18 times, all in his 3-year stay at Manchester City. Is that not a huge number to talk about? But today we'll be looking at all of those fixtures coming through. Don't forget that the program is probably sponsored by our friends at MaxBet. And today is interesting because we'll be unveiling, we'll be unveiling one person. Here's a lady, to be very specific, who will be adding spice to what we do here. So all you need to do is to sit tight as we get onto it. I'm very excited, so I will be starting that introduction with her. My name is Oji of the W, and sitting to do this with me is a very, very complete squad that will make sure that we run through smoothly and give you all of those predictions that will allow you win well on MaxBet. I have with me by my right hand side, Chiwendo. Chiwendo, good to have you on Bua Community Voice. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much,
very huge pleasure to have you. And also with us is a regular, the man Podolski. Podolski, you're welcome.
Nice
and to complete the team is the man that you all know so well, C.I. Zoro. It's good to have you, C.I. Zoro. And on today's episode, like I mentioned during the introduction, we have Tottenham, who will be at the new Tottenham Stadium to welcome Manchester United. I feel like it's the match of the weekend. Spurs, they've been amazing lately with Xavi Simons, who been criticized heavily, coming out with a man of the match performance in their UEFA Champions League game that was on Wednesday. We'll also look at Everton, who will be at the Dickinson Stadium hosting Fulham. Fulham is a team with lots of Nigerians in it. We have Alex Iwobi and, of course, the man Calvin Bassey with Samuel Chukwueze, who is on loan at the team as well. West Ham United at the London Stadium will play host to Burnley and have Sunderland, the Black Cats, hosting Arsenal, who are very much a strong side defensively, making sure that they've not conceded in their last games that they've been playing, having as much as 8 games without conceding for that back line in all competitions. Interesting to say the least. Also, for Saturday, we'll have Chelsea at the Stamford Bridge. After that very disappointing draw against Karabakh, that was in the Champions League on Wednesday, they will play host to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolves are yet to announce about who takes over in that managerial role. We've heard about a couple of candidates who want to take that job, and we'll see what happens from there. That won't be all, because the Premier League games extends to Sunday, where Aston Villa plays host to AFC Bournemouth. Brentford takes on Newcastle. It will be Crystal Palace up against Brighton as Nottingham Forest, who got rejuvenated after that amazing result that they got the last time out in the league. They will be hoping that they can get something out in that game against Leeds United. One of the top games coming through this weekend will be Manchester City up against Liverpool. A couple of persons, after they saw what Liverpool could do against Real, this fixture is looking tough for both sides. You can say that Liverpool will know that they can get something off of City. They've got Erling Haaland firing from all cylinders. He's top of the goal scoring chart. And like I told you during the introduction, a lot of persons are starting to compare him with the likes of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. But we'll come to all of that. First off, let's talk about the game between Tottenham and Manchester United. Podolski, what's your take when these two sides go head to head?
It's going to be a crack. Why I say so is because the both teams are firing. Now, watch what Tottenham did in the Champions League, which gives them the momentum to coming into this game. Manchester United, in their 4th game now, they have won 3 and drew 1. And you saw what they did against Nottingham Forest. It's not Nottingham Forest that will give them home and away last season. But this time around, you saw their take. the last time they met, Tottenham got the better of Manchester United. And even the European Cup final, Tottenham were able to dominate Manchester United. We give them the leverage of them playing in this recent Champions League. So coming into this game, I believe that this is not the same Manchester United we should see before.
You feel like United are the better side that they beat
Right
us?
now,
So you don't seem to agree. It seems you feel like they are not yet there.
I think at this point in time, Manchester United is not a team that you want to bank on right now. Under Ruben Amorim, they are not being bad.
But it's Spurs trust.
Yes, under Thomas Frank, I think he has been able to achieve
Don't
something
forget what Chelsea did
that
to them.
Postecoglou have not been able to achieve
Yeah,
with
very
Tottenham Hotspur. So I think that for me, Tottenham Hotspur coming back from the UEFA Champions League, if you watch the UEFA Champions League match, I tell you, this team is a team that Thomas Frank has packaged and is doing something amazingly. And I think they will do a great. They're going to destroy Manchester United. I just feel so because Thomas Frank against Ruben Amorim, you cannot take it away from Thomas Frank.
Well, the word destruction could be a little deep for lots of Manchester United fans because after a resounding midweek victory here, Tottenham are looking very well to find their feet at home in the Premier League, taking on Manchester United. And that's why I talked about the inconsistency in that Thomas Frank side. That home front, playing at the new Tottenham Stadium in front of home fans, being a disappointing, woeful one week in, week out. In fact, we saw the fans feeling very much disappointed after they lost by that long goal, courtesy of Joao Pedro against Chelsea last time out. But just like you stated, coming from that UEFA Champions League win could be a moral booster. And I can see authoritatively that this is an inconsistent Tottenham side going head to head with an inconsistent United side. So when consistency jams consistency, what's your thing?
I think at this particular point, just like you pointed out, having done pretty well with their outing at the Champions League, I feel they have that confidence to go with it. I'm talking about Tottenham right here. But remember that just like Timothy pointed out, there's been a record of Tottenham really making it rain with clean sheets when it has to do with their head-to-heads with Manchester United, where I think one of the most notable ones was the Europa from last season, where they crushed Manchester United as far as I'm concerned. So having that confidence from their Champions League performance, I think coming into this particular game, irrespective of the fact that Manchester United probably will be there, but I wouldn't want to use that word destruction, but there is probably going to be a destruction for Manchester United if Tottenham goes in with that particular confidence, just the same way they did with the Champions League outing that we also.
Yeah, Champions League outing, interestingly, but let me just mention that United have registered the league high of 54 shots on target this season. And I feel like if the likes of Benjamin Sesko, Mbeumo, and Kuni have been taking their chances, maybe United would have been up there. Because most times it's good to note that the coaches won't do the scoring. What they'll do is to set up the team in a way. And I think very recently, Amorim have proven that the three at the back will work at United if well utilized. United, they've won just one of their 3 away league games when scoring first this season. So you begin to wonder how they will fare. But I feel like going to play Spurs at home should not be a difficult battle for any team that knows what they're doing, because Spurs, they've not been very good at home. But let me just remind you that Lucas Bedford is looking set to miss this game for Tottenham, but Mohamed Kudus could feature. He missed out the midweek in the Champions League, and United, they do not have any injury concerns, and that leaves Amorim without any excuses of what he should be achieving with that team this season. So we have to move on from there, and let's talk a little about Everton and Fulham when they go head to head in that one. I feel like ending of last season, we saw the coach try to say, I know Everton too well. But I don't feel like that's been the story this season as he started full season in charge of the trophies.
I think Everton's side, David Moyes, has been able to bring the team together. And you cannot talking about an Everton side and feel that you know them all. I think at this point in time, they're beginning to pick up.
3 games winless run now.
You cannot take it away. There's something that Grealish brought into Everton's.
I feel like he wants to go to the World Cup, and
it's really speaking for them. I mean, check out the teams that they played. that Moyes strike, but he will not take it away from David Moyes. He has been able to package Everton. Remember last season they were almost going to the relegation, but now Everton, I'm telling you, Everton is fighting to even finish top 10. That's to tell you that David Moyes has been able to package the team and bring out something that nobody's seen in Everton. And you going into this game, you don't want to look down on Everton.
Okay, you feel like up against Fulham, in your own opinion, who is the biggest side?
I think Nigerians will want to give it to the Fulham side because of Kevin Bassey, because of Chukwueze, because of the likes of Alex Iwobi. But Everton has something going for them. And I'm still yet to see it with Fulham, but I'll still give it to Everton.
Yeah, you may give it to Everton, but I will tell you that Everton have not won any of their last 4 head-to-head.
It's good to know because we must always look at the books and
Yes,
see what's
you
happening
have
at the
to
same
know
time.
what is happening right now. Everton have not won their last 4 head-to-head with Fulham. They have drawn 1 and lost 3. So coming into this game, Everton have to settle. Now, Fulham is the team that we are expecting that, yes, so these are the team that will charge and do better. As a Nigerian, we surely support our brothers. A team that have 3 of our brothers there and making us proud.
If not for anything,
Anything,
the November World Cup playoffs coming.
Yes.
Need them in full form.
Yes.
And where would they get this from if not?
I mean, can we really bank on Kevin Bassey?
Yes, we can bank on them.
Did you see the error he made in their last game?
Even though
The coach had to come out to support him, but you can't really bank
You have to support
that
your
when
own.
you are going to play.
You must understand that.
yes, you don't have to criticize
That's
your own
you're being
No,
sentimental.
I cannot
We're
criticize
talking
my
about
own in public.
performance here.
I think
I won't
Nigeria
really give
wants
you
to
that.
sentimental.
It's sometimes.
You're being
Don't forget it's the same
Don't-
Fulham that despised Wolf 3-0 in their last match.
Are you going to rate? We're talking about an Everton side, and we're talking about the both sides.
is
The
Everton
both side
side
that
that
is
is
really
struggling.
struggling, that they had to sack their manager. Are you going to use it against Everton?
But the Everton side is equally struggling. On
Thank
both
you.
parts.
I don't
You
think so.
understand?
I will not really say that.
We have Grealish who has equally made a little impact. Yes,
Yes.
quite alright. But then
But when we talk
it's
about the
one
impact,
against the rest of
when we
the
talk about impact on the part of Grealish, I wanted to hear the records. Where are the goals? Where are the assists? Yeah, where are they? How many are there? I mean, comparing him with the rest of the players who are, because let's talk about Granit Xhaka for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
He's the signing of the season, if you ask me.
Yes.
Look at what he's doing
For
at
the
Sunderland. That's what it takes to be that player who can lead the team. He's the captain of the side. He's the team play from the middle of the park. And I can tell you that team is going so well. But let's not run faster than we can. Let's get into
Shaka is a leader.
A leader, but you know where he was coming from. He was
Yes.
coming from Bayern Leverkusen. He was doing well with them. And you're talking about Grealish that
He
was
was out of the
benched
bench
all
most time at-
in Manchester City. Coming into Everton and doing what he's doing. So you cannot take it away
You have a
from him.
point from
He-
that
he's
because
really
keeping the player on the
proving
bench is
a
like
point.
killing the player,
Yeah.
and that is pretty obvious. I want to talk about West Ham. They go head to head with Burnley. The last time out, I had to sit and watch them play against Newcastle, and I saw how it ended, and I felt very proud of what Nuno Espirito Santo been able to do. I had to even go back to watch a few other clips, and I discovered that he had to play their childhood clips for them, every single player. That's some work. Say, look at you when you were trying to emerge as the player you are today, and we going down to the championship. And it paid off because getting a result over Newcastle United
Go down.
prepares you to take on Burnley. Anytime, any day, I feel like West Ham can now say, now our season is starting.
I don't think so because Santos is doing something great in West Ham, but he's just a manager that just came in. He has to get his ground, know what's happening with the team. I like what he's doing with them. Against Newcastle, we could see that effect of Santos in that game. But playing against, but I don't think Burnley is a team that you use to classify who Santos, the quality he brings into the team. I don't really think so. But West Ham is beginning to find their rhythm. They are beginning
Would
to
it
get
be
it
a
right.
walk in the park for West Ham?
Of course, I think it will be a walk in the park because Burnley themselves, they have been struggling themselves. They are not really doing well. So it's not a yes thing. Against Newcastle, I would say yes. West Ham is beginning to find their rhythm. Santos is beginning to bring in that tactical effect we saw what he was doing with Nottingham Forest. So he's bringing it in, but you cannot really say that they are now sitting on that winning strike that Nottingham Forest were enjoying under Santos. I think they are getting it one step at a time. But for now, I will not really give it to Santos. I think West Ham will struggle against Burnley, even though you will say that Burnley is a walk in the park. But I think they will struggle. Maybe a draw in that game, but I will not really give it to Santos.
Okay, you feel like maybe it could turn out to be a draw, but we must also look at what the data
I think this
says.
is a West Ham. This is a West Ham game. Because West Ham are unbeaten in their last 6 Premier League against Burnley. They have won 3 and drawn 2. So coming now, I believe that West Ham are doing well. New Espirito Santos, he did well in Nottingham Forest, and I believe that he's going to do it. I don't even know why he was being sacked in Nottingham Forest, but that is a story for another day.
The political.
Yeah, but the Viper will definitely decide what happens.
Yes.
And whatever got him sacked, I've got Postecoglou sacked.
Yes.
And now we have Shondai who is doing it now at the Tricky Trees. We'll see what happens from there. What's your take when West Ham goes at
I think Burnley is lacking behind, and then having one of the fewest shots on that particular Premier League this season. I think Burnley is, let me just borrow that word, a walk in the park for West Ham at this particular point, because if we are to go back to history, just like you pointed out, West Ham has always been ahead of Burnley on whatever pedestal. So even while a lot of persons have predicted a draw match for West Ham against Burnley, I am seeing a straight win for West Ham against Burnley on this particular part, because Burnley needs to go back to the drawing board and then see what they can be able to make out of themselves, because where they are this season.
Of course, to see what they can get. That's a game between two teams that are struggling. So we see what happens. They all have got the mission of lifting themselves out of where they are and because of the season. But let me tell you that Nicholas Fulkrug remains West Ham's main absentee, while Burnley have got no new injury concerns and they must start getting that result as early as they can. Let's get on to the next one in the Premier League. Amazing match. In fact, this is where I feel like everybody wants to talk. Sunderland is going to host Arsenal. Sunderland is not one of the biggest sides in the Premier League, but I feel like the pressure now on Arsenal is to make sure that they break that record that Chelsea is holding, considering the lowest number of goals in the history of the Premier League as 15 in that particular 2004 season. And now this is where Arsenal is having the feeling that they can. And I feel like if they could do it against Sunderland now away from home, they can start saying, look, we've got the best defense in the league, and we've got one of the best attacks in the league also. We can win the league. What's your take when Sunderland goes head to head with Arsenal?
Sunderland going to play Arsenal. Yes, everybody is glamoring that they can do it. 2004 record, 14 goals, 10 sheets for Chelsea. Can they really do it again this season? This is Arsenal we're talking about. We can't really bank on them, but I'm telling you, they are on good records this season. They have it going for them. I mean, you look at their starting 11 and look at their bench, complete squad. This is for other team. Their bench is actually a starting 11 for other team. So I think they are getting it right this season. They are pursuing something, and I think Mikel Arteta has been able to identify the errors, getting a striker, and
is there a striker in Arsenal?
there is a striker.
I think I'm not seeing any. Is there a striker who can score 20 plus goals a season at Arsenal?
No.
And what was the last time a team won the league without a striker that can score 20 plus goals? So this because when you talk about Arsenal and you look at it like, oh, they've got everything working, there is a Gabriel Jesus injured, Kai Havertz will soon be back. Oh, we have what's his name again?
He's Havertz is striker.
Victor. Kai Havertz is the striker. He converted. He plays in that number 9 position for even the German national team.
Of course.
So what would you take to be a striker? He was there at Chelsea. He did it at Arsenal in the past 2 seasons. So I feel like they've got Victor Karis. He's goal shy. He's not scoring those goals. He's scoring.
How many goals? I feel for that Arsenal side, I think just like you said, Arteta has got his own technical whatever.
Defensively, yes.
he has figured out where the problems are, and then he's really working on it, and that's the defense, and with the defense covering and always making that particular shot,
And getting
yes, and wingers at the point, because it makes it easier, and then he has wingers that are very technical and could be able to make good scoring at the end of the day. I think that is where Arsenal is at this particular point. The idea of the number 9, the physical number 9, is so that there wouldn't be lapses, because it affected them drastically when Havertz had injuries last season, and then they wouldn't want a situation whereby we could say, okay, this goals was not converted because we do not have somebody to be able to put in there, because the wingers delivered massive as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. But what I wanted to actually point out is, in the last 3 or 4 seasons, Arsenal have been on top of the league in the Premier League in general.
Then after January,
No, but you cannot. You are talking about an Arsenal team that we are not complete. Will you say that this particular team that Mikel Arteta has been able to build, was it the same team that was there last season? No, there's a lot of change.
Well,
and let's see, we're seeing a lot of improvement. It's not about now. This is not this time around. Mikel Arteta have no excuse of whatsoever not to achieve. He has been able to balance the team.
But the Chelsea team we're talking about, compare them with. I'm talking about the Chelsea team that got
the likes of Terry, John Terry, the likes of Ivanovic and all that.
Players
yes,
who
of
give you
course.
38 games over 38 years. Well, it's too early anyway to judge, but let me just.
I feel Arsenal have a balanced squad now.
Arsenal have a balanced squad, but not take it away from Sunderland.
Yeah, exactly what I was about to say.
Sunderland are just
won against Chelsea.
No, even against in their last 8 matches, they have just lost once.
How many big
and they have won that.
How many big teams aside Chelsea?
World champion. Who is the world champion?
Aside Chelsea,
world champion.
And you cannot even talk about Chelsea because Chelsea is struggling defensively. So I need to use Chelsea to not discuss Sunderland, for goodness sake. Who is Sunderland? I'm not saying they are not doing well. Let them begin to play the big boys.
I think it's Buffalo will be so proud of you.
Sunderland is the new promoted team that have 18 points. The last time a new promoted team did that was Hull City. That was 2018, 2008, 2009 season.
Very impressive this season.
And now in their 8 matches, they just lost only once. They have won 4 and drawn 2.
Then I ask, who and who did they play?
They
who did they play? Let them play the likes of Manchester City, play the likes of Liverpool.
There's something with that.
Let's see what will happen.
In the last 15 matches, Arsenal have played against them. Arsenal have won 10 already and drew 5. So
there's a person I'm looking at, Granit Xhaka is going to bust down the field.
And this is former Arsenal player.
That's kind of away. And also, let's also be reminded that Victor Yokeres will be missing this one. Because he joined Arsenal's list of injured players because he came off with a hamstring injury. So we'll see if he can make it on time to be part of that squad. I know that
play that position.
Yeah, very well. They've got it all. They've got players that can play in those positions. But I feel like there are 38 games in the Premier League season.
Exactly.
And we've only played 10, leaving us with as much as 28. Now 28, if you divide 38 by 10s, you're going to get almost 4 10s in it. Two games shy of 40. So you're going to have 10, 10, 10, 10. So that's to say that they've only played one part of 4 10s in the league. So that's to say, whatever we've seen now, we should be expecting triple of it to come before we can start saying.
And you're not adding the Champions League and
every other competition where they are doing a ball. Maybe too early to say. Let's talk about Chelsea. When they go head to head with Wolves. Wolves is struggling. Chelsea struggled against Karabakh. Chelsea struggled against Sunderland. Chelsea. And each time where Enzo Maresca tries to gamble with that squad, they end up struggling. We saw Chelsea struggle on Wednesday against Karabakh when it ended 2-1. Let's talk about how they will be faring at 9 p.m. on Saturday when they host Wolves at the beach.
And I think Chelsea manager Maresca should not have any excuse whatsoever.
Why so?
Not to win against Wolves. Because Wolves, you all know what's happening to Wolves. Yes, they are
very winners in in the competition.
They are really struggling. And at this time, I think no, we shouldn't be talking about this. I think it's a walk in the park for Chelsea. But eventually,
I would have loved to agree with you. But after the comeback match against Chelsea, I think Chelsea needs to. Maresca needs to go back to. He does a lot of gambling, but I personally
should go back to drawing.
You understand? The players are good, but I feel for me watching the match against Karabakh, I feel that effect of Kopama is still missing there. The boy is good, but then that Kopama effect is still missing there. But aside from the Kopama effect, I feel Chelsea needs to work on the defense. That Tosin that he always plays is a very wrong player to start up the team with.
I don't think so.
I personally think so.
You watch him when he was in Fulham. I think it is
when he was in Fulham,
you are not using him the right way he's supposed to be. Tosin in Fulham,
he has not been using James the right way.
Tosin in Fulham is not always the last man. When he was in Fulham, he's always ahead, always going and to push attack. And then you bring him into Chelsea and you want to keep him to be the last man. That's not what he does. That's not his strength. And I believe that the coach should have done was to encourage him or really, let's say, train him to be able to play that position.
Players in that team.
Of course.
And I feel like that's why they are
exactly.
They are learned on
exactly.
But Chalobah is also a very good defender that can stay at the back. Against Karabakh, he was wasting his starters. His first leg were rested. Look at people that play. These are people that come from the bench when they are playing serious matches. I think he underrated Karabakh. That's what I was talking about.
Those gambles I talk about. And then with those gambles, Chelsea is not in the form where you would say it's a walkover this time around, because with those gambles he plays some players where he ought to not.
I think I get what he's trying to say. Who knows if he will gamble again? I don't think for me, what is happening? I don't think what is happening to that game against Karabakh.
I don't know.
And I was surprised that he played the entirety of that particular fixture. I was disappointed
because he didn't use most of his regular. He really underrated Karabakh. I think that's what Maresca did. He underrated Karabakh.
What happens in the second half?
And it affected
when you underrate a team at the first half, what happens in the second half?
To make substitution,
Caicedo coming in played a good impact. We all saw the impact Caicedo played.
Play the entire part of that.
Why will you not buy him with a lot of money?
He's just 19, and that's a
They got him with a lot of money, so they need to make.
When he's not performing where he ought to have performed, he changed him.
When Obama came to Chelsea, how old was he?
Okay.
Why we gonna say because he's 19?
Papa was playing better.
How many people were giving him? How many times did let's balance. Did they give him opportunity?
Let's balance it off. If you have the next game in the Champions League against Barcelona and I'm a coach, I'll pick all the points. I'll start my best 11 against Karabakh, start winning them 5-0 in the first half, then make my substitution and let them rest. That's what I'm saying. That's what he's talking about. I will start my best legs against Karabakh, lead them 5-0 in the first half, make 5 substitutions, which I can, and now watch them equalize and it will end probably 5-3 with the score that we do.
Very unnecessary.
Now Chelsea are in a situation where they will face Barcelona, who is not in a very comfortable place, who would likely want to win. This is the kind of game that they want to show themselves. So I feel like he's gambling, and he's right about Maresca gambling, but then he's got a large squad and he needs to use everybody. And if they are not playing, they are not happy, they want to walk away. It's a World Cup year. Hato is a player that plays for the Dutch national team, and he wants to get game time to be able to make it to the World Cup. And I feel like that is why Pep initially started sounding the warning, I do not want a last squad. He wanted Grealish to find his way. He told them one-on-one, you're not in my plan, start looking for a way out, because these players understand that the best way to get to a player going to the World Cup is by playing. And if you have a last squad, you must play every Tom, Dick and Harry. But let's conclude all that we're talking about in the Premier League in a program that is proudly sponsored by our friends at MaxBet. Let's conclude it with that fixture that is coming when Manchester City takes on Liverpool. I know that this match is going to take a lot of time because I know a lot of fans have got a lot to say. There have been alarm bells for the slot to get sacked. He redeemed himself in that game against Real Madrid, winning 1-0 in a match that a lot of persons have written him off. In fact, they felt like he's been struggling. They said Salah is too old to do a thing. Liverpool is not the best that we saw last season. But against Manchester City is one of those games that I feel like is the game that can decide the title. You need to start winning. Pep says after the Club World Cup that he's believing that his team have got back to where they belong. And he said Haaland scoring. He actually described Haaland in being in that Messi-like situation where he can lead a team to get results. Last night I watched his press conference. I had to take my time to listen to him when he was talking about Phil Foden scoring the kind of goal he scored, and the fact that he's happy that it's not only Haaland who found his form. He's happy Foden is back. That Philip can do a whole lot for the team. What are we to expect when these two footballing giants of England goes up to him?
I think and the slot have a lot of work to do. First, Liverpool defense line is terrible. They really need to work on it, fix it up.
Despite
Fix it up. And then the midfield, I mean, you cannot really say this is where McAllister is playing, this is where Gravenberch. Yes, Gravenberch is the defensive midfield, but you can't really say this is where Szoboszlai. They are just, the thing is just, they are not gotten their rhythm this season yet. But against Real Madrid, we saw a team that came out they talked to themselves and they said they need to win this to prove to people that they know what they are doing, and they really did it against Real Madrid. When they face on Manchester City, I think it's going to be a different ball game. Mind you, Manchester City in the league have also lost to Tottenham Hotspur, lost to Aston Villa. So you will not really say they are getting it 100% right with themselves. But I feel that Liverpool have been able to stand their ground against Real Madrid. And if they can be able to play the way they played against Real Madrid, I think they have something to get for Manchester City, but I don't think they can win Manchester City.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult anytime, any day, because Haaland is in the form of his life. And Pep Guardiola is still the manager, remember. So let's see what you feel about this game.
I feel that it can be anybody game because recently Liverpool, we won their game against Real Madrid. I was happy that yes. So I was asking myself, so Liverpool can even defend like this? Because I never believed that yes, they can
to keep a clean sheet against the Madrid attack. Is what's reckoning, and that team, if you can do that against Real, then you can do it against any other team. Yes. I mean, there is Vinicius Junior, Mbappe, there is Jude Bellingham who supports that and so much that the goals will come. I feel like that was a.
I was not asking myself at the end whether Vinicius is even in the game because I hadn't even seen him. Whatever is holding ball.
Bradley was fantastic.
Yes, that's
what it takes to win a football match. Yeah. Be at your best in your best position and take that one chance that comes, and voila,
they can talk to themselves. I think it's not about the coach. I don't think it's about a slot effect in that game. I feel that the players came together and said they needed to prove a point, and they really proved a point. Against Manchester City, they can talk to themselves the same way, because if you leave it to a slot, I think he's clueless at this point.
Yeah, he is. I feel like the word is he's overwhelmed. He played the first Premier League season with a team that is very well assembled by Jurgen Klopp, and he won the league. Raised the bar too high for even himself. So that's why there's lots of expectations. I felt like if he didn't win the league last season, we'll be saying, and it's not what's happening. Because Amorim is a new coach. Last season he struggled, it's a new season he's struggling. We are not, we are giving some time. But he came in, and
we are used to
raised the bar too high for himself. And that is why he's looking like he is struggling. You have anything to add?
I think basically, just like you pointed out, the Liverpool team proved the point with Real Madrid. I was equally surprised, holding it on with Real Madrid until the 90th minute, and even missing chances. If you really watch that match, I think it was something to reckon with. But then I beg to disagree that Manchester City will be outrightly winning Liverpool on this one. Yes, they have difficulties. It's an aged Liverpool defense line, but then they equally proved that even with being aged, they could be able to beat a very high speed Vinicius and then a high speed Mbappe.
What did they say about wine? About wine against the light?
So I basically feel that Liverpool will be able to hold down Manchester City, but Arne Slot should not start ASAP for that particular match.
He's still injured.
I feel. I'm sorry, but then when that other guy, I've forgotten his name, Ekitike starts, there's always a difference that comes with it. I don't know if it's just me seeing it, but then he is more grounded than the Isak.
More aggressive.
I feel like he's a player who went for the preseason with the team. Isak sitting out trying to negotiate his deal is part of his
after playing how many matches? Isak has played at
you
least
can't
3 or 4
you
matches.
can't learn how to play with the team during the match.
Yes.
You do that during a preparation era. See, a match comes with a tempo that like you can't try out things. The ball don't get to you during the match and you want to see, okay, let me gamble it, because you don't know how many touches you're going to get with the ball in that game. But all the same, I get your point. Ekitike is informed and needs to be treated as a player who is informed, not minding how much they pay the British record fee for Alexander Isak. But let's go to the point where you love it, where we predict the mass bet segment, where we'll give you those predictions that we feel will be coming true. We'll start off with the lady in the house, Spurs up against United.
I'll give it to Spurs.
Spurs. What's your take?
I'm doing over 2.5.
Over 2.5?
I think it's a drawback.
Never.
Okay, that's a prediction from a Chelsea fan who feels like
That is it.
help his cause.
Yes, I climb up the table.
Everton up against Fulham.
I'll give it to Everton.
It's a 1.5.
4.5.
I said it was 1.5.
Thank you.
West Ham up against Burnley.
West Ham again. I'll give it to West Ham.
West Ham.
I'm supporting her.
West Ham.
Second.
It's a straight through for West Ham. I
West
said
Ham
it before.
Sunderland plays host to Arsenal. That's an interesting one to look at.
I'll give it to Sunderland.
Sunderland to get a win.
Yes, I'll give it to Sunderland.
If that, which team jersey would you want if Sunderland gets a win here? I'll get it.
I want Sunderland.
Sunderland jersey, definitely. I'm getting a Sunderland jersey if they can get a win against Arsenal in this one. What's your
I'm not supporting her. I'm just going over 1.5.
I was about to say I will start at the first. No, definitely. Arsenal is in great form, and then Sunderland is doing well. They're great form. But then, just like you said, they've not played a big team except for Chelsea, and winning Chelsea is going to guarantee.
So are you saying that Chelsea is not a big team?
No, calm down.
So what's your pick?
I think it's over 1.5.
Okay, I for one, I think the best bet here is to say that Arsenal will not concede. I feel like they are strong defensively and they will continue to show that in that game against Sunderland. They are not shipping in any goal, and I feel like that's the best way to go for in this one. Low goal is what it is. Now Chelsea takes on Wolverhampton Wanderers.
I'll give it to Chelsea.
You said it from the very get-go.
Chelsea.
This is Chelsea.
Yeah, but you're not very confident anyway. Well, all the same, let's just get straight to Sunday. Interesting fixtures there on Sunday. Aston Villa up against FC.
I'll give it to Aston Villa.
Over 1.5.
It's a good goal match.
Go forward the two side. Brentford takes on Newcastle.
I'll give it to Newcastle.
Newcastle away win there.
Brentford.
Brentford to win against Newcastle.
Yes.
Wow.
They did it against Liverpool.
I see a Newcastle. Newcastle is on fire.
Newcastle
win.
Okay, Palace takes on Brighton.
I'll give it to Brighton.
Brighton up against
Over
Palace.
1.5.
4.5.
Basically, not Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace to win up against Brighton. Nottingham Forest takes on Leeds United.
I'll give it to Nottingham Forest.
Forest,
Yes.
are they back?
If they can draw against Manchester United, yeah.
Which Manchester United? Don't forget that they beat Manchester United home and they win. There was no my God grace. They escaped.
You feel like United is not a match.
Nottingham Forest that is they just have a new coach.
Nottingham Forest is not back yet.
They are back.
They are not back
If they
yet.
can draw United, then they are back. What's
Ah,
your take?
My take is Palace to win either half.
Well, not Palace here.
Sorry, Nottingham Forest to win either half.
Okay.
I think it's a drama between them and Leeds because Nottingham Forest now only when I see they come back, we don't see anything.
I'm not saying
The City
anything.
up against Liverpool rounds it all up for Sunday.
Over 1.5.
What's your take?
I'll give it to City.
Basically, think is going to be a draw match. City will prove a point. Unless
What do
right.
you have with draws?
No. City will prove a
Like
point.
draws.
But City will prove a point.
So you feel like
Liverpool, with that particular win against Real Madrid, is coming in energetic, and I think just like you said before, the sad wine, or how did you say it, the old wine that gets better by age, would probably play out against City. So and then with the Ekitike, who probably will play.
so it's to not end in a draw.
Yes.
And then Alan will not be
Yeah,
with all the form that Alan
you can't now stop.
It's not
That's why.
We've seen
That's why I
Brighton.
didn't want to talk about Manchester
We've seen
City
your-
because I know Manchester City will score. So I don't want to dabble into
So
that.
to be a bro.
to be
After this stuff.
Of all, but
Well, that being said, thank you very much for being a part of this one. Don't forget that the program is widely sponsored by our friends at MaxBet. It's been a pleasure to have you, and we urge you to keep staying with us. Make sure that you like and subscribe to keep supporting what we do here. Before I go ahead to thank you all and we go, which of the games are you looking forward to see this weekend?
Of course, it will definitely be Sunderland and Arsenal.
Sunderland.
I just love Sunderland.
This season.
you just love
yeah,
it. Just love
I
it.
just love Sunderland.
For you
I just
to have predicted that Sunderland was going to get a win with that one,
love- I love what they are doing.
Let's go with Manchester United.
United game against Spurs.
Yes.
What's the
I have two. One of them is Chelsea. The other is Liverpool
And Manchester.
Manchester
I
City.
feel like Liverpool and City is the biggest blockbuster. In fact, the poster game for the weekend. I'll see what happens. But then we cannot take away the fact that Spurs and United is a game closer to the top than anything. We'll see what happens when these two sides collide. Thank you very much for being a part of this one. It's a pleasure. Honestly, I cannot thank you enough. And to you, CI0, thank you so much. Thank you to the man behind the camera. We say thank you. And to all of us at Boa Community Voice, we say thank you for supporting us. And we urge you to keep supporting us as it's May. This is much you can take. And we hope to see you on the next episode. Adios.